But let's go on to the stoner score now. So I know there's a lot of albums that drop. I know. I just don't have that much time in the world to listen to everybody's project. That's just not gonna work. And I mainly just talk about the artists that dropped this previous week that I was interested in listening to, because I can't just listen to everybody, even people that I'm not interested in, which just takes time. And what if I don't like it? It's you know the deal. But that's why I'm saying all that to say this. I only focus on just a few handful. Mainly, they're usually popular because I kind of like I like some cool popular songs and albums, but that's just what it is. If I find some diamond in the rough, I'll review that and post that on here too. So it's just how it is. I just don't have that much time in the world. Now, I'm open to suggestions. Now, if you guys want to be more interactive and suggest some things, I'll look into it. But right now, it's more the popular songs. And I say that because Kalani dropped. And again, if you've been listening to the show, it's not really my type of vibe right now for this show. Right? That's you know what the stoner score is, something you can leave in the background, chill with your boys, smoke, you do what you gotta do. But maybe in some other time when I'm in another mind space, I'll turn on Kalani and just enjoy that. But I did like her cover photo though. That was pretty nice. I must say that was artistic indeed. So now let me talk about the albums I actually did listen to, the projects I listened to, and one of it is Nav. Now, if you're not familiar with Nav, he has a bunch of other projects prior to this one, obviously, but this specific one is called Good Intentions. He also had Bad Intentions last year, I believe, but this is Good Intentions, and I liked it. It flows smooth throughout the whole album. It was pretty good. I like the sound, the vibes. It was all in an even wavelength. So again, with the stoner, for stoner purposes, I'm not talking about mastering, because obviously if you're at a certain tier of the industry, you're gonna have professionals doing all your mastering and all the sounds and everything else. So we're not judging that part of it. But on the mood and the vibes, this is a vibe. That's what it is. The album Good Intentions is a vibe, although it does receive about an 8 on the stoner score. It's not quite a 10, but it's an 8. It's pretty good. 8 is good. Anything above 5 obviously is good, because 5 is average. So 8 is pretty good. So Good Intentions by Nav, it gets an 8 on the stoner score. So another project that I reviewed is Lil Durk. I listened to this project. It was pretty good. It's a great artist. I'm not familiar with everything he's ever done, but this particular project was pretty good. I'll give it about a 9. It flows throughout the whole way through. It was good. It had substance. It had almost everything, but I'll give it a 9 for right now. Later on, as the show moves on, I might start expanding a little more and give more detailed reviews. But right now, it's all short. It's all the beginning of the whole stoner score thing. So we're going to cap it at a micro review at this time. Okay, so an album you're never going to guess I listen to that I actually kind of like is Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's album, let me try to pronounce it, Las que no iban a salir. That album, it was pretty good. I listened to it. It was... okay, I'll be honest. It wasn't as good as his last album. His last album came a few months ago, and that I really liked. I really liked that album. This one, he had a hint of laziness. A hint of laziness on this one. I didn't like it quite as good as the last album. It was good, but it wasn't as good as his previous album that dropped a few months ago, which is kind of weird. The Baby did kind of the same thing. They dropped album a few months apart, and they weren't really the best. This one was kind of like that too, and it was short, so I'll give it a 7 out of a 10. His last album, it could have gotten a 9.5 on his last album. This one just was not, it didn't hit the spot like that. But I know if you're Puerto Rican or if you're Hispanic and you're chilling with your boys, you're going to run this all the way through it anyways. But I'm talking about people that are not just that, people that are more diverse in their listening experience. And this will be about a 7. A 7 on this one. Okay. And the last album I checked out, this is another artist. This is a new artist. He's not... I think this is might be his first real project. I'm not sure. He might have other mixtapes. I never really started with his young kids. It's Lil Tjay. Lil Tjay, and it's called State of Emergency. And I listened to it all the way through. It was pretty good. I liked it, although it was too short. It was 7-song album, and you already know how I feel about 7-song album. At least 10 songs, you know, but 7 is too little, and I give it a 7, just because of that and other factors. I like the album, but am I gonna continuously go back to it? Most likely not. So it's a 7. It doesn't really have high replay value. That's why I knocked it to a 7. Although I might fine tune the criteria for all this later on, because the stoner score is pretty new. This is like my 3rd week doing the stoner score, so it's gonna fine tune as time goes by. But this album gets a 7, and it gets a 7. I liked it. It's a very good introduction to Lil Tjay. I'm gonna check out for his next project, and that's the same way with Lil Durk. Lil Durk, I know he's been out for a while, and I heard him a long time ago, but I never really sat down and listened to a whole Lil Durk project. But this time, that's what I'm doing now. Okay, so Lil Tjay's album, very, very good. Now, you could understand why I keep saying all these albums are very good. Again, when I first started saying this, I kind of listen to albums I'm interested in anyways. So I'm not getting paid for this, so I'm not just listening to everything. I'm listening to things I am really interested in anyway. So most of the albums I do review on here will be over 50%. So that's kind of why everything's usually pretty good to me, because I'm selecting these albums to listen to. You see how that goes? If I'm listening to everything, then I'll be like these little nerds that come out here and his falsetto on the 7th syllable was wrong. Nah. We just leave that in the background. See how the vibes go from there. All right. So these albums that I pick out, that's why they're pretty good usually, because again, I select albums that I'm interested in listening to anyways, okay? And if I'm not interested in the album after like the first song, I cut it off. Just like that. I don't have time to waste. Okay? I straight up cut it off after the first 5 words in the album. Although I could say Lil Durk's album, his intro was pretty weak. It wasn't the best intro for an album. That almost deterred me from listening to the whole album, just to round back to that. But that has been your stoner score. I don't want to keep pushing this ahead. We got other stuff to talk about. So let's move on.